around SP, around your specific person, when they're in your 3D. And you think in the end, but they aren't there yet. So I'll just read that again. How to act around your specific person when they're in your 3D, but you think in the end, but they aren't there yet. If this girl, who thinks she's living in the end, was really living in the end, she wouldn't even ask the question. If she really understood that her specific person is only her reflection and has no free will in her reality to do anything but reflect her, she wouldn't be assuming he isn't there yet. The only way he can't be there yet, be in the end yet, like she is apparently, is for her to not be in the end. Reflection is direct. It doesn't have a time lag, guys, okay? So if I'm in the mirror and I look like shit right now in this moment, I'm hungover, I've got dribbling down my face from sleeping on the wrong side, my hair's all messed up, and I look in the mirror right now, it directly reflects me. Right now, your specific person directly reflects you. So if reflection is direct and constant and in the now moment, then you are still reflecting something out that they're not reflecting back. I'll say it again. If reflection is in the moment, is in the now, can only be as you are reflected, then they can only be as you are reflected back. So don't blame your specific person for them not being in the end, because, darling, you're not in the fucking end. That's why you're asking this fucking question. That's why they're not there yet, because you're really not there. Because if you were really there, you wouldn't ask this fucking ridiculous question. Like, this question's actually ridiculous if you think you understand this. And the thing that bothered me the most about the question was there were replies afterwards. Guess who the replies were from? Nice one, someone wrote. Nice one? There's nothing nice about this question. There's nothing good about this question. Everything in this question is telling me that the person who asked the question does not understand the fundamentals of manifestation, that they are simply reflecting you, is not at all living in the end, is blaming her specific person, and worst of all, what does the front part, the beginning of the question say? How to act around SP. How to act? I'm sorry. Is this a manifestation channel? Is this a channel whereby I tell you what to think? I don't tell you how to act. I don't care if you do cartwheels in your underwear or run down the street with them on your head. It doesn't matter how you act, it matters what you think. Oh, so I can do whatever I like and be however I like in the 3D outwardly, but it's what I'm thinking about, what I'm doing that matters. It's what I think about how he's acting and how I'm acting that matters. Yes. This girl doesn't understand it's what she's thinking that matters. She doesn't understand what she's thinking is reflected to him. She doesn't understand reflection is direct and in the now, and he can only reflect her now and what she's thinking now. And she's blaming him for not showing up, even though he's her direct reflection. Oh my God, it's nothing to do with him. So how you act right now is, darling, you forget about how you're acting and start thinking about what you're thinking. Oh, so how I'm acting doesn't matter. Huh? What do you mean? Why are you asking me that? As if I can tell you. I don't care how you're acting. I care how you're thinking. Now, you don't want to react like a bitch and be a psycho in the 3D and be triggered all over the place outwardly. But even if you do that, guys, it's what you're thinking about, what you're doing that matters. And don't be a triggered bitch. I will teach you not to react outwardly in the 3D, but a lot of you think you're not acting a certain way in the 3D. I didn't get in an argument. I didn't push him away. I didn't say anything. But in your brain, you're going, he's a bastard. He isn't changing. Why hasn't he changed yet? I'm living in the end and he's not there yet. Why isn't he there yet? Oh, I'm getting so frustrated by my SP not changing. Bitch, you haven't changed. That's why you asked the fucking question. Stop blaming him for your problems. Guys, if you're still looking at your SP and going, why hasn't he changed yet? I'm living the end. I'm fully living the end. I'm imagining us together and I've decided he's exactly how I want him to be and he loves me and I've decided he is fully committed to me. Why isn't he there yet? Someone to even say he's not there yet, you don't think he's fully committed to you. You don't think he loves you. You don't think he's there. Living in the end involves you thinking they are also in that end. It's not you all by yourself in the end, in a vacuum. You're assuming the other person thinks the same way as you. You don't assume they're not. You don't give them the free will to think differently from you. You don't see them as a person making their own decisions and acting according to their own decisions. You see them only as your reflection because you get they are your reflection. You understand the law and understand that if you haven't fully and completely changed your mind, they haven't changed because they are your reflection. They don't change, they reflect. They don't change, they reflect. They don't change, they fucking reflect. And if you're a triggered bitch and you don't think they've changed, they won't have fucking changed, will they? Oh my God, so what I'm asking you about how should I act around him is of no relevance whatsoever because I'm not understanding the fundamentals of this, that he is simply my reflection. And even though I'm full of shit and think I have changed, I haven't changed at all. That's why I'm asking this fucking question. That's why I'm seeing him as not changed, because deep down, I'm seeing him as not changed, which means I'm not living the end and I haven't changed. For you to even think they haven't changed, you aren't living in the end, guys. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't bullshit me. I'm living in the end. I feel worthy of love. I lost my shit at someone the other day in the squad live who repeatedly said to me, but I feel worthy. I feel worthy of love. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. I literally solved what her childhood issues were in like 2 fucking seconds and said, did this happen to you? And did this happen to you? And she was like, oh, yes. And I'm like, right. So if that happened to you, you don't feel worthy of love, do you? And if what's happening in your 3D right now with your SP is happening, you certainly don't feel worthy of love, do you? Now, this girl's response to me afterwards was to say I was brutal to her. I literally solved for this girl. I solved the fucking mystery of the world for her in 2 minutes and was brutal, apparently. Yes, sometimes I have to be brutal because otherwise it would have taken you about 50 visits to the fucking site to work that out. I worked it out for you in 2 fucking questions. I'm sorry if I'm brutal sometimes, guys, but I can read right through your fucking question. I can tell when you don't understand the law. I can understand when you're blaming your SP. I can see what your childhood issues are. I can see it because I can read you like a fucking book. And if you don't like the way I teach, if you don't like the fact that I can uncover your triggers and your problem in 2 fucking seconds, this ain't the account for you. This is the account where you can no longer be triggered, you can't blame your SP, and you get your shit. Do you want to get your shit? Sometimes I might be a bit brutal. Sometimes you might have to look yourself in the mirror and realise you haven't really been living in the end. Sometimes you have to be really honest with yourself and understand you're still blaming the person outside of you, even though they're your reflection. On my account, you have to be fucking brutally honest with yourself. Otherwise, nothing will change for you and you'll come crying back to me after you've gone to some woo-woo, mollycoddle you, give you a cuddle and a cookie manifestation coach who didn't solve anything for you. If I can solve for this person in 2 fucking questions what their childhood issues were that were causing them to not be in monogamous relationships, imagine what my courses can do for you when you have actual workbooks where you yourself sit down and write down all your shit and you can see it in black and white and you think, oh my God, this is why this is happening to me. Why do you think people do my fucking courses? Because they work. Because uncovering your triggers and knowing where this is coming from works, because then you can't blame them anymore because it ain't them, it's you. So if you're really living in the end, they would have changed. If you really understood the law, you wouldn't be blaming them. If you really were understanding this, everything in your reality would be as you want it to be because you would be as you need to be to have that reality. But you're not. So if your reality hasn't changed like this silly girl, ask yourself, have you fully changed? A no? Well, that's why it hasn't changed. Because it's a direct reflection of what you're thinking. Oh, but Loz, I am thinking he loves me and I am thinking he's committed and I am thinking we're together and every night I fall asleep in the wish fulfilled and bitch, what are you subconsciously thinking?